MAJaC Radio.
Good afternoon, listeners, and welcome to MAJaC Radio 92.2 FM, broadcasting from Bakau, Newtown South, the platform where education meets national development. I am your presenter, Our Bob, representing Group 1 of Advanced Diploma 10. This is your weekly program, MAJaC Special. This evening, we bring you an inspiring story of growth, professionalism, and the power of trust. On MAJaC Special today, we focus on MAJaC alumni individuals who communicate clearly, confidently, and ethically across various fields, including media, teaching, photography, and filming. These professionals engage citizens responsibly, promote understanding, and build bridges rather than barriers. This transformation is happening right here in the Gambia, and at the heart of it all is the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication. Stay with us as we explore how MAJaC continues to positively shape its alumni and strengthen their relationship with the public. MAJaC has long been a driving force in the media industry, shaping professionalism in journalism and communication. Over the years, many outstanding journalists, teachers, photographers, filmmakers, and other professionals have passed through this great institution and are now making meaningful contributions across various sectors. You are listening to our radio interview program, MAJaC Special, and today we're delighted to join in the studio by two distinguished alumni. With us is Mr. MAJaC, a trained journalist, youth leader, Secretary General of the Young Journalists Association, and a diplomat. Also joining us is Mrs. Julde Njai, a senior reporter, presenter, and producer at QTV Gambia. Welcome, Mr. Jane and Mrs. Julde.
Thank you very much, Ara. Thank you for having us.
And we start with Mr. Jane. As a former MAJaC student and now a practicing journalist, what can you share with us about this great institution, and how has MAJaC shaped your journey and influenced your life as a journalist?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and also with my boss Julde. Well, to begin with, I would say that MAJaC have made me who I am today. And I'm always proud to say this anywhere I go. I could remember in 2021 when I went to represent the Gambia in Ghana in the Youth Diplomacy Conference. In my speech concluding remarks, I made mention of how MAJaC have impacted my life. And the reason why people are saying MAJaC today is because of the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication, because the institution picks me from nowhere and making me who I am today. In terms of my professional work, in terms of my work related to youth activities, in terms of national development, it's MAJaC that instilled all these things in me. So I can happily say MAJaC made me who I am today, both in my professional life and any other thing that I am engaged to aside from journalism and other things.
Interesting. And to Mrs. Julde, the foundation of this transformation begins in your experience. How have MAJaC graduates brought structure, confidence, and professionalism in their workplace, whether in the newsroom, schools, theaters, or classroom?
Thank you very much, Awa. Good evening to you and to all the listeners. And it's really an honor to be back here. This is where I call home, because this is the place that molded me, shaped me, and made me who I am. So it's always a pleasure to be back home once again. The MAJaC has really contributed a lot towards journalism, quality journalism in the Gambia, and that is evident with MAJaC products you have in various newsrooms in the Gambia here, whether it's television, whether it's radio, whether it's newspapers. You have MAJaC products everywhere, and they're really contributing meaningfully towards the development of this country. They're creating awareness, they are upholding the ethics of journalism, which I think is very, very important, and their credibilities are intact. Evident of this is the at QTV Gambia we have few MAJaC students there, myself, and I can tell you for sure that this is a matter of fact. I'm not making an opinion, that MAJaC students are really doing an extremely good job in the newsrooms. For QTV Gambia, other students, other people from other institutions normally come there as interns, because in a year we take at least 3 or 4 batches of interns. But what I've seen and observed as a senior reporter who interacted with these people on a daily basis is that the MAJaC students really outperform some of more than the students from other institutions. So as such, the possibility of retaining the MAJaC students is higher than from students from other institutions. Now you can see that most of the MAJaC students there are either staff, full-time staff, or are on contract. And I and my boss, we always have this conversation, and he admits to the fact that if there is any institution that any journalist wants to be a perfect journalist in this country, MAJaC is the place to be. And I'm not just making this up. From QTV, I also worked with other media houses because I was with iAfrica TV as their editor, and I have staff there who were MAJaC products, and I can tell the quality of journalism that they are bringing on the table. I can tell the manner, the speed in which they are really working, the quality, the consistency, the ethical considerations that they put into place as far as producing stories are concerned. So MAJaC has really changed the way and manner in which journalism is done in this country. It has really removed the issue of, okay, he said, she said, and then bringing the human element into journalism, which I think is very, very important.
Thank you so very much. That was really, really detailed. And like I said, the foundation of this transformation begins in the classroom with a curriculum designed for a real-world impact. We engage some of the alumnus of MAJaC in different career paths: teachers, journalists, photographers, and filmmakers. So I would like you to listen from their own perspective. Can you tell us what has MAJaC impacted you so far?
Thank you very much, Awa. Like you said, I'm one of the products of MAJaC. That's where I did my diploma and advanced diploma. And to be candid, MAJaC has really impacted, my journalism career. Before I enrolled at MAJaC, there are so many things that I couldn't do at the time. But with my enrollment at MAJaC, I've been able to acquire so many skills in terms of how to edit my videos and all that, which is very, very important for me as a journalist. Now, when I travel abroad, I don't actually need an editor to edit my videos. So those skills that I've acquired from MAJaC has really impacted and also helped in my growth as a journalist.
MAJaC has positively shaped my role as the public relations officer of the Gambia Police Force by strengthening my journalism skills, media relations, and ethical communications. The advanced diploma in journalism improved my ability to write clearly, credible, and timely messages, manage media engagement effectively, and handle sensitive issues with professionalism, ultimately enhancing public trust and image of the Gambia Police Force.
Yes, MAJaC has impacted me as a photographer. Before attending MAJaC, I had strong passion for photography, but MAJaC helped me grow both creatively and personally. Through the program, I learned many new skills and gained more hands-on experience in photography. It also helped me build confidence, especially in public speaking, which made it easier for me to share my ideas and talk about my work. MAJaC encouraged me to believe in myself and take my photography more seriously, and it motivates me to continue developing my skills and experiencing my perspective through image.
Everything that I do currently in my work as a communication officer of the Gambia Teachers Union, I learned it from MAJaC. From audio editing, video editing, graphic designing, I got the skills from MAJaC. I may not do them perfectly well, but these skills, I got them from MAJaC. And that was during our period of studying journalism, that is the certificate and diploma program. And when I graduated to the purely communication program too, the skills that I got there, I got them from MAJaC. Basic press release writing, the standard press release writing that I do right now, and I am proud of it, is because of MAJaC. Because before then, the way I see press releases, whether from government institutions to civil society organizations, I was thinking that was the normal way of writing press releases until I enrolled into the communication program that I realized that the way that we write, some institutions rather, write their press releases are not the natural way or the standard way of writing press releases. And now I write press releases feeling confident that I am writing it in the standard way. And I got that skill from MAJaC. To community engagement, public engagement rather, how we used to do it and how we are doing it after attending the public engagement classes in MAJaC taught me that there is a different way. There are approaches that we should use when we do public engagements, and that skill again that I am utilizing in my current role. I got it from MAJaC. To even basic ethics of journalism, or in fact content creation rather, I also get that from MAJaC. So like I said, everything that I do, from the audio editing that I do, the video editings, the press releases that I write, the content that I create either on TikTok, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, I got all that from MAJaC. And yes, MAJaC has really impacted my work as the communication officer of the Gambia Teachers Union.
Well, thank you very much for that question. Like you said, I'm a teacher and I also came to MAJaC to do my program. Definitely, it helped me a lot. This definitely motivated me and also helped me in my teaching career as well, in class monitoring, and I also learned a lot. In the sides of journalism, definitely it helps me a lot because now ethically I understand my job very well and also know how to go about script writing, story gathering, angles, and also how to go about newsroom management, the editorial, the different aspects in the newsroom, how they operate and others. These are the few things I think I learned in MAJaC.
Interesting. So, Mr. Janek, coming back to you. From these responses, what is your take?
So this is clearly telling me that MAJaC is really setting the standards when it comes to journalism in this country. I mean, at some point I even said Gambian journalism is MAJaC. MAJaC is the face of Gambian journalism in this country, because if you look at most of these media institutions in this country, you cannot count one or two where you will not have MAJaC students. Probably you will count how many number of MAJaC students do we have in these institutions. This is not simply because they just come to school and go back home, but they are trained professionally. And I always say, whenever a MAJaC student is out, he or she is representing MAJaC as an ambassador, and because you are taught ethics. So anywhere you go, you make sure this reflects on the work that you do. So you can hear from the testimonies of the students that have passed through MAJaC that MAJaC have not only instilled in them the skills, both practically and theoretically, but it have put the ethics in them to make sure that anything that they are doing, they remember, they reflect back some of the things that they have been taught in the four corners of the classroom. It's not only talking to the lecturer and receiving from the lecturer, but also the things that are instilled in you, you make sure you implement them in your daily life, whether you are at work or you are at home or you are on other engagements. You always remember that I am serving as an ambassador for one of the biggest institutions when it comes to journalism, because this is how people look at you, this is how people portray you. Whatever you do which is bad in society, people will pinpoint their fingers on you. Some might even say he or she is a MAJaC student. So for that being the case, anywhere MAJaC students go, they go with this responsibility, they go with this ethics with them, because knowing that they are not only representing themselves as individuals, but they are representing an institution that have instilled something in them that they must carry anywhere they go.
Right. Now to Mrs. Julde. In MAJaC, courses prepare professionalism for crisis communication, ethical practice, and effective relations. So, to your own perspective, what can you tell us about it?
I mean, I'm more than glad to share that, because I have that in my daily work every day. I'm confronted with issues or challenges that, sometimes I'll come to my boss and then we will talk about it and then weigh it, because, it's all about, MAJaC has taught me that every source has an agenda. So as such, when you're reporting on critical issues or conflict sensitive issues, it's very important to put that at the back of your mind, to know that whosoever I am going to interview, whether you are the stakeholder source, you are the expert source, you are the case source, every individual that you're going to interact with has their own agendas. But how are you going to portray this in a way that it's not going to be conflicting? How are you going to ensure that this is not going to put another person, a life at jeopardy? Or how are you going to ensure that, you portray the truth, but nothing but the truth, and then you're not taking sides? Because one of the ethical considerations that I was really taught at MAJaC, and which I am really implementing in my daily life is to ensure that my stories are balanced, they are fair, and it is accurate as well, because that is what you got. In life, as a journalist, if you lose your credibility, if you produce stories that are not balanced, if you produce stories that are not accurate, it's a problem. It's like you better resign from journalism, because it means you're not serving humanity, you're not serving your purpose as a journalist. Especially we are in an era which is very, very sensitive in the Gambia. You have the issue of miscommunication, you have the issue of this misinformation, you have the issue of disinformation, you have all these conflicting things happening, you have the issue of social media happening, you have citizen journalists in the Gambia. So if you are not attentive of what is happening, and with all the sensitivities surrounding gender-based violence, with all the sensitivities surrounding tribalism in this country, it's a problem. So how are you going to ensure that you report on a story, it is accurate, it is well presented, and it's also not making sure that people are into conflict? Because now whatever you say, people put into account. MAJaC has taught me that. For instance, again, talking about the conflict issue, I traveled to Brazil, and you have parties who are have conflicting interests, because then you have people who are negotiating, and those people, you're really sure as an individual that they are the one funding the big organizations or institutions that are doing a lot of harm to the environment. So that are doing a lot of harm as far as climate change is concerned. But then how are you going to ensure that you report the truth? How are you going to ensure that you report something that is going to impact individuals, that is going to impact people? So conflict sensitive reporting is very, very important, especially at the time that we are, and now that we are approaching elections. I think journalists should be very cautious of what they do. I know people will come to them, with big offers, with brown envelopes and all of that. But you should put in mind that the money is going to finish. But whenever people unearth the truth and know that you are being compromised, that is the end of you as a journalist. And that is the first thing that MAJaC taught you when you get here. It's that your credibility, it's like your life. You should safeguard it no matter what. And I think all the products of MAJaC, if they really listen to what they are taught, and then they implement that in their daily lives, they will not have any issues. And so far, alhamdulillah, I am thankful and know that with all the conflicting things that are happening, with all the journalists that are wanted in this country, at least we have not seen any case where it has to do with a MAJaC student. And that is a very good thing. That is something, a laudable initiative. That is something that we should be proud of as MAJaC students. We should be proud of as the management of MAJaC. They should really be proud of that, knowing that, their students or former students are not conflicted. And it's also important, whatever subject you're dealing, look at the rules and regulations governing that. So conflict sensitive reporting has to do with every bit that you're going to work on has its own rules and regulations, and it is important to actually read wide to know the laws governing FGM, for instance. What is the law governing, for instance, tribalism in this country? What are the laws that are governing rule of law in this country? Before you report anything, it's true that you listen to the sources, but also you should back it up with facts. Not just opinions of individuals. Even though this person says this, but this is what the law is saying, or this is what credible institutions like WHO, World Health Organization, the World Banks, you have studies everywhere. Don't just report on what people are saying, because when people are conflicted, they tend to put emotions first, and when emotions are people put emotions first, is always going to be problematic. So I think it's very, very important for journalists to be cautious.
Amazing. We are taught to be credible, and as Julia rightly said, we have to walk on the footstep of professionalism and ethical reporting. Now my audience are listening. From now we will opening the lines from 5121520. You can call, but in the meantime, I want Janet to share with us, how has MAJaC shaped your leadership skills and equipped you for your career in journalism, while we wait on some of the callers.
Okay, so I mean, this is something that I always reflect on when it comes to leadership, because I've been working in the youth space for quite a long time, and one of the most important thing, it's like you are representing not only yourself, but you are representing sometimes an entire community, or sometimes an entire municipality, because I serve as a co-opted member in the Kanifing Municipal Youth Committee, and a committee that is responsible for the affairs of all young people within the Kanifing municipality. But at some point you will see criticisms coming out from people that don't even know the exact reason why they are even criticizing. So, but some of those things you need to take them with caution, you need to take them with care, because if you let emotions run out of you, it becomes problematic. It's like they will say, okay, these people don't want people to hold them accountable. And I think it's one of the most important things as a youth leader, representing young people, to open yourself to accountability. Let people, hold you accountable for, the responsibilities or the tasks that they lie ahead of, they put on top of you. It comes back to even journalism, because we are serving the people, and if journalists are to mislead people, it is the right of the people to hold you accountable and to ask you questions. I think this is why it is important for journalists nowadays. Just like Julia Lightry mentioned, we are heading to elections, and journalists need to be equipped with a lot of fact-checking skills to be able to debunk some of these things, because we live in an era where misinformation is spreading like wildfire. So,
sorry, I think we have a caller on the line. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, who do we have on the line?
Thank you so much, our Bob. I am our Gasama.
Okay. Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much for hosting this interesting program. And to our guests, or the guests that we have there, I'm saying thank you all. Because you are part of the ambassadors of the school, and you people are really doing amazing. We the young ones are looking up to you all, and we wish you all the best in your workplaces. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Do you have any question for the guest?
Not really.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Jani, I will want to ask you both, what do you like about MAJaC most? I can start with Mrs. Julie.
Okay, that is a tough one. That's a tough one, because MAJaC is an institution that gave me my foundation, right? Not just in skills, but also in values, and which is very important, which I've carried with me throughout my work as a journalist. I started with the newspapers, I have experience in radio, and now I am with television. Who knows what I'm going to do next. So MAJaC has shaped me in ways I can't imagine, really, because one thing that I always put into consideration, I am an ambassador, and an ambassador of a very reputable and good institution, an ambassador of an institution that really sets the standard so high. So I will be left behind if I should really compromise my journalism, if I should compromise my ethics, if I should compromise my values as a journalist. So if you are in an institution that sets the standard so high, you're always careful, because then you don't want to be the black sheep of the family, right? Because it is so high. So that's what I'm always putting into consideration. It has also taught me to multitask in a way. Okay, for instance, at QTV, I am not only a senior journalist who is into various programs. Sometimes Ade would tease me and say, like, Julie, I think if there is any individual here who fits in every program or everything that we do, it's you, because I'm literally in programs. I'm doing news production, I am editing my own audio, my videos, I am doing like a whole lot of things.
And not to cut you short,
exactly.
Really, you as a woman dominating all those positions, it's amazing.
Exactly.
It's really amazing.
So for me, I'm glad you mentioned that, because for me, I don't feel the issue of, okay, I am being left behind. For some reason, I always feel that, okay, I am the boss. I am dominating. It doesn't matter if I am the woman or
dominate.
not. Exactly. So MAJaC taught me that being a woman does not make you a less version of yourself.
Right.
And I carried that with me to this day. That I feel like, okay, if a man can do this, I can do better.
Yeah.
And I am proving that.
I must comment
so
you for
to my girls out there, don't feel left out.
Right.
Do your best. Don't also rely just because you graduate or you are a MAJaC product and okay, everyone is saying that MAJaC is a very good institution. Now that you should sit back and relax. You should learn. It's a continuous process. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So I think that is one thing that, you know, no one should compromise. And for the fact that I kept my ethical considerations intact, you know, for a long time and counting, I think I am really, really grateful for that, and ensuring that I can be able to multitask. If I am taken to radio, I can perform television as well and newspaper. So MAJaC gives you that. It gives you options. And now there is this photography segment of it. You know, it's interesting. If you are a full package, imagine when I went to Brazil, I was a full package and they were amazed. The minister was like, so Julde, you mean to tell me that you do all of these things alone? You conduct interviews, you do the audio, everything. I say, yeah, I send them the finished package. So that is what MAJaC gives you.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So before we end, we don't have time. We're running out of time. But Mr. Jane, I would want you to share in few words what has MAJaC impacted and what do you like about MAJaC the most?
I like everything about MAJaC because MAJaC is home. When I was here, people will tell me, MAJaC is your home. Because if I'm not at home, I'm not at work, I'm at MAJaC throughout. So MAJaC have saved my life, like I said, during my preamble. I do multitasking, I do video editing, audio editing, I do filming, I do photography. And now that I can happily tell you, I mean, just last week, I published 4 fact-checking stories and 2 fact explainers. So I mean, I get all these skills from MAJaC. So that's
this is amazing.
Exactly.
It is amazing, and we're glad.
MAJaC is everything.
We're glad hosting you. We're glad you representing us to the higher height. You guys are role models, and we are looking up to you. And thank you so much for joining us. Well, listeners, this is what professional communication sounds like: calm, clear, and credible. The impact of MAJaC training goes beyond individual offices. It has elevated the institution itself. Behind every strong institution are empowered individuals. These are ambassadors who now think strategically, act ethically, and communicate with purpose. From now, to my team, to everyone who has been listening, thank you so very much for listening, and thank you for honoring our invitation. We really, really appreciate it, and we're looking up to you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. MAJaC's flag will keep raising high to the higher height, inshallah. We thank you all for listening, and we thank you for coming. Until then, goodbye.
You are listening to MAJaC Radio.
This is MAJaC Radio.